What's up everybody, Kangwon over here. Me and my team, we decided to make a cybersecurity awareness video for you guys. So today we have an absolute masterclass in digital tragedy. Did you know education industry is currently the third most vulnerable industry to cyber attacks in the world? It's colossal goof. Schools are just eating 2,507 attacks every single week. It's because places like our campus hold a massive amount of valuable information and just leave their front doors wide open for cyber criminals to plan attacks for personal gain. It's completely diabolical. Yeah, so the campus network is basically the Wild West, cooked basically. You've got students checking grades, academic staff uploading content, and IT handling the actual servers. When we mention learning management systems, it can be Microsoft Teams or Canvas, depending on how the school teaches. Whether your school uses either of them, all those assignments and grading systems you see on these dashboards slides are essentially giant neon target painted, easy targets. Anyways, let's look at the first issue, phishing. If we look at this flowchart, it's a pretty simple graph. Step 1, the attacker sends a phishing email to the user. Step 2, the user clicks the link and visits a fake website, that looks exactly like their twin, the real one. Step 3, the attacker collects your credentials from that fake site. And finally, step 4, the attackers take those stolen credentials and just logs into the legitimate website to steal your soul, basically. Now, modern phishing isn't just Nigerian princes with terrible spellings anymore. It's a whole new level of psychology manipulations. These gremlins use generative AI to make the message look flawless. They weaponize your emotions using fear and urgency to completely bypass your brain cells and fry them. The impact is devastating. Individuals get hit with identity theft every single day and direct financial loss, and organizations suffer massive network breaches. Identity theft is not a joke. To stop it, verify the sender, don't rush, and for the love of everything holy, organizations need to use phishing resistant multi-factor authentication, and actually train their staff. And if that wasn't bad enough, bam, ransomware. Look at this timeline. Step 1, the malware comes via spam. Step 2, it downloads malicious code. Step 3, it encrypts your files. Step 4, you get ransom notice. And step 5, they want you to pay to get your data back. But fear not, do not pay it. Here's how this absolute dumpster fire works. They send a malicious PDF or macro enabled document, and when you open it, a hidden script execute and quietly drop the payload. You get it completely locked out with ransom note timers. You lose your data and it spreads through the network like a bad cold, causing a massive financial damage and making everyone's life miserable. To fix the ransomware, you need a zero trust policy and a 3-2-1 backup strategy, which is just common sense. Let's look at issue 3, data breaches. These don't just happen from hackers. They happen from cloud misconfigurations, human error, and insider threats, like a goofy employee accidentally sending sensitive data to clowns. Okay, look at this flowchart. Information is misplaced, the system is breached, sensitive information gets stolen, and then that stolen data is sold for malicious purposes. Users face fraud, and organizations get slapped with massive fines, and operational downtime is a pipeline of pure misery. The solutions are so simple, a caveman could do it with their eyes closed. Use a password managers, limit the information you share online, and turn on multi-factor authentication. Organizations need to enforce access controls, encrypt their data, and actually train their employees so they don't click on obvious malware, But wait, it gets sillier. The call is coming from inside the house with a rogue access points. Sometimes someone plugs in an unauthorized router just to be lazy, or worse, a hacker sets up an evil twin, a hidden router broadcasting a name that perfectly mimics the official campus Wi-Fi. If Baby Gronk or the Rizzler connects their phone to it, the attacker can execute a man-in-the-middle attack, intercepting web traffic and hijacking their sessions. They get backdoored network access and can bypass external firewalls entirely. To stop this absolute tomfoolery, and admins have to deploy WIPS, to continuously scan the airspace and disconnect unauthorized MAC address, while also segmenting the network using VLAN. hands. I mentioned MFA earlier, multi-factor authentication. Just means you need 2 or more authentication methods. Step 1, something you know, like a password. Step 2, something you have, like a push notification to your phone. Step 3, something you are, like a fingerprint. You prioritize this because passwords alone are just single point of failure against credential stuffing. Not having it is basically leaving the keys in your cars with the engine running. You also need the 3-2-1 backup rule. If your hardware fails, your other backup medium survives. If the building burns down, your offsite data remains safe. You keep 3 copies of your data, 2 on different media types, like a local disk and a cloud storage, and 1 copy stored completely offsite. If you don't do this, a widespread ransomware attack will vaporize all copies of your data, causing permanent disruption. It gets completely slimed out. Let's look at some program level access controls. The OS checks digital signatures. If you try to run VS Code, access is granted. If a ransomware payload program X tries to request a file access, the digital signature is blocked, access not granted, you know? And if they do encrypt your files, you just eradicate it, slime the ransomware, and restore the affected part of the system from your offline backups. How do we stop data leaks? Encryption at the server level. If a hacker tries to download the database files, they just get a scrambled ciphertext file. The actual records like passports are encrypted in storage. And look at the firewalls. If a malicious traffic tries to enter the school network through destination part 22 for SSH, the firewall says no, traffic blocked. We also use role-based access control. If a staff member from teaching department tries to access finance records, they get denied because it's not their role. You know, what if you download a Trojan? Let's say Kaisernet, download a game.exe, you know, Funk Hub, okay? The anti-malware software scans the code, finds a known thread signature like XYZ11, flags it as malware and blocks it from execute. If for phishing, a hacker tries to send a fake email under google.com from a random IP address, the Gmail server fetches the SPF records from the DNS server, checks that IP against the list of allowed IP addresses, see it's a fake, and blocks the legitimate looking phishing email. Now that is security, you know. And finally, let's look at multi-factor authentication, you know. Look at this beautiful diagram. Even if the phishing email works and the hacker gets your credential to log into the money bank website, but the system sends an OTP, you know, a one-time password to the actual user's phone, because the hacker doesn't have your physical phone on you unless you like lost it or they stole it from you. They get blocked by the 2FA shield. Access denied. Go home, nada, nothing. That's about it for the presentation. Stay safe on the internet. See ya.